Audi revealed their newest and most powerful production car to date called the Audi Nuvolari. And believe it or not, it's a hybrid. Welcome back to another episode of Sad Parking Lot Prattle on Sad Out of the Lot with Sad Scott. I'm your host, Sad Scott. And in today's episode, I'm sad. I don't even know why I'm sad. It was so obvious that it was going to go down this way. I'm sad because the Audi R8 was just such a beautiful car, and it sounded incredible if it had like a good exhaust to it. The Audi Nuvolari is the successor to the Audi R8, and it couldn't be any more different. There may be something that Audi knows that I don't know, but I think they made a huge mistake with the Nuvolari. The Audi R8 was an icon. I mean, Tony Stark drove one, and that should speak for itself. The bodywork of the Audi R8 didn't scream at you. It didn't say, hey, look at me, I'm rich. But it did quietly pull out and flash its wallet every time you looked at it. It wasn't aggressive like an Aventador, and it wasn't track focused like a GT3. It was a briefcase carrying mature gentleman who wore Oxfords that doubled as running shoes. That's what made it special. It felt like a supercar that you could take to work and people wouldn't judge you for being financially irresponsible. Whereas if you drove a 720S or a Ferrari 488, people would start to speculate what criminal activities you had to do to come up with all that money. But the R8, it wasn't over the top. And looks wise, the second generation does justice to the first generation. They kept the same important design details, and honestly, I think I like the second generation better, which you don't get very often with sports cars. Audi had a great streak with the Audi R8, but in 2024, they ended production. Everyone expected to get a new Audi R8, but electric, like a Audi E8. But deep down, we all wanted that beautiful V10 to be reborn. But instead, we got the Audi Nuvolari. Here's the first question. Do you like the way it looks? The back, to me, looks like a Lamborghini Huracan that was designed and made by Bane from Batman. And the front looks like if a Cybertruck and a Bugatti Chiron had a child. Now, both of these can be taken as good things, and to be honest, I'm not fully sure. I feel like my wife right now. I just can't decide. I can't decide if I like it or if it's just trying too hard. I think one thing that's holding me back is the size. It looks huge. It doesn't really look like it has any depth or curves to it. Like if you look at the Audi R8, it has those depth sections on the side that go into the side scoop, or the leading lines that go over the hood or around the wheel wells. The Nuvolari doesn't have any of that. Not to mention the interior. I mean, it looks like the interior of the Slate truck. Incredibly underwhelming for a car with this price tag. Which leads me into the price tag. The final year Audi R8 started at $162,000, which is actually a reasonably affordable sports car for its caliber. And the top price was the GT Coupe limited edition that was $250,000. That's a lot of money, but not really for a sports car. You would think that the Nuvolari would be in a similar ballpark to the R8 because it's the successor and all, but unfortunately, due to inflation, it is a bit more expensive. And when I say inflation, I mean Audi idiocy, and when I say a bit, I mean double. It is $500,000, $500,000 for that. I mean, there's no way. To put $500,000 in comparison, you could get a Porsche 911 GT3 RS or a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, or you could just get a whole bunch of cheap classic cars and restore them. That would be wonderful. Not only are you doing a service to society by restoring old classic cars, but you could then turn them around and sell them for profit. This is financial advice, by the way. Anyway, why in the world would a car that looks like that cost so much money compared to its predecessor? Well, because of some unknown reason to all logical thinking beings, Audi is only making 500 units. The Audi R8 sold 50,000 in its lifetime. They went from 50,000 to 500. Money-wise, that doesn't make any sense. And brand exposure-wise, it doesn't hit any nails on the head whatsoever. I feel they only made the car so that their F1 drivers can pull up in cool, futuristic cars to the F1 races. They replaced an attainable supercar with an unattainable hypercar. Not what a lot of us wanted to see, Audi. So, it's got a big price tag and an even bigger exclusivity tag. Is there anything good about it? Well, it is quite powerful. It has 987 horsepower and goes 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2.6 seconds. That is the pre-production European model, at least. But like I mentioned in a previous episode, the Lotus CEO said that power is easily attainable and lightness matters more. So how heavy is it? Well, Audi hasn't officially said, but journalists are estimating it to be around 1.75 tons, which means it's below the 1.8 ton threshold, which means it's not mediocre. That's a win for Audi. But how is that possible? Well, thankfully, it's not fully electric, so it doesn't have to carry all that weight from a whole bunch of batteries. It has a mid-mounted 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that redlines at 10,000 RPMs. That is just a beautiful sentence to say. It does also have 3 electric motors, 2 in the front on each wheel, and those power the front wheels for the all-wheel drive, and then 1 in between the engine and transmission to help the engine have better power delivery. That's a pretty neat system. Along with its active aero, it does sound like a pretty proper futuristic race car. So even though Audi made a mistake by making it super expensive and hard to get, it does sound like it's a real hypercar. Even if it does look like a concept design from the early 2000s that will never see the light of day. But the question is it a good successor to the Audi R8? And I don't think it is. It doesn't feel like the Audi R8. It's not attainable, but it could be worse. It could be all electric. So what do you think? Would you buy it or would you pass? You know, I kind of wish I had some vertical structure that I could put cars on. Like one side would say buy and the other side would say pass, just to kind of keep track of the cars that I would actually buy and the cars that I wouldn't. That's an interesting concept. I'll think about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.